Good evening and welcome. In less than 24 hours, we've seen one of the most dramatic rises in air pollution ever in the national capital. Just yesterday, people in Delhi, the entire national capital region, would have welcomed relatively clean air and wind that seemed to disperse air pollution. But by 7 p.m. last night, the situation started to change a great deal, and over the next several hours, the levels of PM 2.5 particles that cause the most amount of harm to the lungs touched a hazardous 800 to 900 in places. Now, that is over 30 times the safe limit. The Weather Office has warned of a dip in air quality in the coming days, with the northwesterly winds likely to bring pollutants in Delhi's air from Punjab and Haryana, where farm fires are continuing through, despite efforts to actually stop them. And we're actually seeing the number of farm fires go down, but the pollution that we are seeing in Delhi is still completely out of control. On this program, we'll take your phone calls as well to our panelists who join us. Dr. Himanshu Garg is a pulmonologist and sleep specialist. Bhavreen Kandhari is a parent, part of the My Right to Breathe campaign, as it were. And we'll also be joined by Anumita Roy Chaudhary, the leading environmentalist. I'm also joined by my colleagues Zafar Iqbal and Alok Pandey. In fact, let's go across to Alok first. Alok, you know, I mean, there is often a misconception that when it comes to pollution at this time of the year, it's sort of restricted to the national capital region. In fact, this haze, this smog, this dreadful pollution spreads to a large part of North India. What are you seeing where you are?
Well, you're absolutely right. In fact, Vishnu, cities like Lucknow and Kanpur, which is not close to the national capital region, are also seeing a spike in pollution levels. In fact, Kanpur is ending up as being one of the most polluted cities in the country on almost a daily basis. I have a few people here with me, evening walkers in a park. Sir, अपना नाम बता दीजिए.
मैं भैया हास्य योगी शिवाराम मिश्र हूँ.
जी मिश्रा जी, आप मुझे पहले भी बता रहे थे कि आप लोगों ने कैंपेन किया इस बार की पटाखे जरा कम जलाए जाएं जिससे और एयर पोल्यूशन ना हो. क्या किया आपने?
नहीं, अभी तो हमने कल ही 4 नवंबर को इसी पे प्रदूषण मुक्त दीपावली मनाने के लिए अभी हमने कब पर्यावरणीय कब सम्मेलन किया है, और उसमें
फायदा होगा इसका मिश्रा जी?
उसमें बहुत फायदा होगा और अच्छे से अच्छे संदेश देने के हमने कोशिश की है. हमारे वैज्ञानिक भी आए थे, विशेष अतिथि थे हमारे डॉक्टर अनूप कुमार श्रीवास्तव.
समझाया आपने बच्चों को?
नहीं, हमने बच्चों को समझाया कि पहली बात तो आप पटाखे न छुड़ावें, उससे एक तो जलने के हाथ जल जाते हैं, कपड़े जल जाते हैं, खतरे होते हैं. दूसरा, प्रदूषण इतना फैल जाता है कि सांस लेना मुश्किल हो जाता है. तो हमारे सामने जो बच्चे आए थे छोटे छोटे, उन्होंने प्रॉमिस किया कि मैं इस बार पटाखे नहीं छुड़ाऊंगा और उस पैसे को किसी गरीब को खाने के लिए दूंगा.
ठीक है सर, आपका नाम क्या है?
अम्बरीश मिश्रा.
मिश्रा जी, आप मुझे कह रहे थे कि आप एक संदेश देना चाहते हैं पूरे देश में जो बच्चे देख रहे हैं, उनको क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
छोटे छोटे बच्चे खुद कल बोल रहे थे कि हम लोग बजाय ये पटाखा दगाने के, हम कागज के पटाखे बना के दगा के लोगों को सिखा देंगे कि आप बजाय ये पटाखे न दगाएं, जिससे प्रदूषण फैले, धुआं फैले, धुआं से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फैला, बुजुर्गों को चलना फिरना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. और इतना धुआं फैल जाता है, कभी कभी तो ये लोग बताते हैं जानवर बेचारे परेशान हो जाते हैं, वो बिड़कने लगते हैं कहीं कहीं पे. चिड़िया पेड़ों बैठी, अगर रात को आप पटाखा दगा दिए, कहीं घर में कहीं बुजुर्ग बीमार पड़ा है, आपने गोला दगाया, वो बेचारा चौंक जाता है.
बिल्कुल.
तो प्रदूषण तो इतना ज्यादा, उससे बेटर बच्चों को हमें बड़ा अच्छा राय लगी कि आप कागज के पटाखे बनाइए, भाड़ लगाइए, सबको खुशी मिलेगी.
सर, आपका नाम क्या है?
मेरा नाम कैप्टन दिनेश मिश्रा है.
दिनेश जी, आर यू एक्सपेक्टिंग कि इस बार थोड़े से कम लगेंगे क्रैकर्स, या आपको लगता है कि नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होगा?
नहीं, डेफिनेटली काफी मतलब इसका असर पड़ रहा है, और गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी जो है बार बार ऐड आ रहे हैं. बाकी जो है स्वयंसेवी संस्थानें जो हैं वो सब इस बात के ऊपर में जोर दे रही हैं कि इस बार जो है पटाखों का इस्तेमाल कम से कम किया जाए.
कितना जरूरी है सर मिश्रा जी, आप जैसे लोगों के लिए जो सुबह शाम पार्कों में घूमते हैं? जी
नहीं, ये तो बहुत जरूरी है. देखिए, ऐसा है, जो सुबह शाम जो है पार्क में घूमते हैं तो इसलिए घूमते हैं कि हमें प्रदूषण मुक्त हवा मिले.
बिल्कुल. और
वो अगर नहीं मिल पाएगी तो हमारा पर्पस जो है वो डिफीट हो जाता है.
मैं फिर आऊंगा आपके पास सर, बट विष्णु, दिस इज व्हाट ऑल ऑफ दीज जेंटलमैन आर सेइंग, दैट दे हैव कैंपेन्ड इन देयर लोकल रिस्पेक्टिव एरियाज, होपिंग दैट दिस टाइम अराउंड at least the crackers on Diwali will be a little lesser, so that there won't even be a even further spike in the already alarming pollution levels in cities like Lucknow and maybe a Kanpur and of course the NCR.
All right, Alok, thanks very much. Zafar, I know you're waiting. We'll come to you in a little while from now. But first, I'd just like to quickly go across to Anumita Roy Chaudhary, Executive Director at the Centre for Science and Environment. Anumita, what has happened from 7 p.m. last night to about, what, 8 a.m. this morning? Why in 24 hours, I mean, what 24 hours, far less than that, has it spiked like this? Why?
What we have seen is dramatic. Just a little change in wind and what it can do. Last 3 days, you had 30 km/h of wind. That just got halved to 15. And not only that, the temperature dropped, more moisture, and the height to which air rises to disperse, that height also came down. And that's what is going to be trend now for the next few days, which means that the air is going to get trapped. Even more important is that today morning, the direction of the wind changed from northwest. That means it's bringing the fume from the stubble burning that is happening all around. Safar says that today morning, contribution of stubble burning was as much as 24% of the concentration. And the rest was, as opposed to the rest from inside. So if 24%, which is quarter of the pollution today, and this variable.
So that 24%, does it remain at about 24%
no, it
during
changes.
this period?
It changes.
When stubble burning takes place, it changes?
No, it will change.
So this is the highest that it would usually
looks
be?
Like it as
looks
of
like
now.
it.
Looks like
Do you
it.
ever recall, less than a day, a rise in pollution levels?
We have seen like this.
In less than 24 hours?
Yeah, so
really?
What happens, even in the past, we have seen how rapid build-up happens. The moment wind stops, and we have seen a very strong correlation with wind in the past.
Yeah.
If you recall the deadly smog of 2016, that's exactly what happened. The wind disappeared, and immediately a massive scale-up happened. And this is very clear.
So let's just play these images full screen, if we can. These are images of farm fires, and the white sort of stuff, as it were, on the left-hand side of the screen across northwest India, that's actually the smog. That's the smoke, which is traveling across the entire area. That exactly is what Anumita is referring to. These are NASA images, and as you can see, it's across large parts of North India. It's not an NCR, National Capital Region phenomena, not at all. I want to go across to my colleague Zafar Iqbal, who joins us from Chandigarh. Zafar, while it's quite clear that the number of farm fires has gone down this year, the fact of the matter is it's not gone down enough for people to not have to suffer this sort of problem. It remains a complete crisis. Why has the government not been able to do more? Because what's been done is hardly enough.
Absolutely, Vishnu. The government's target was to bring down the farm fires to 70% of what it was last year. But that's not happened. They've just been able to bring it down to 25 or 30%, despite putting in 25,000 machines and giving subsidies to farmers. Now, there was an initial lull. The lull was mainly because the harvesting season had got delayed. But now it's at its peak, and you're seeing the rising graph of farm fires. Just last night, there were 800 farm fires which were reported in Punjab. Already it's more than 25,000. The government had put up an estimate of 12,000, but it's already double than that. I'm in fact joined by many students here in Punjab University. Let's speak to them. आप बताइए, जिस तरह एक बहुत बड़ा ये मसला है कि ये जो पराली काटते हैं, फिर धुआं आ जाता है और एकदम से प्रदूषण होता है, तो पंजाब नहीं, पंजाब के साथ जो स्टेट्स हैं उन पे भी असर पड़ता है।
पंजाब में ज्यादातर जितने खरपतवार जो जलाए जाते हैं कटाई के बाद, उनके लिए सरकार बहुत कुछ करती तो है, लेकिन वो सारे ये पहुंच नहीं पाते, लोगों के पास अफोर्डेबल ये चीजें नहीं होती, मशीन्स नहीं होती, जिसकी वजह से उन्हें जलाना पड़ता है। अगर सरकार उस पर थोड़ा सा ध्यान दे, अगर उसके लिए अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम चलाए कि हाँ आप उसे जलाए ना, आप उसको प्रॉपर माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म उसका ट्रीटमेंट करें। जैसे हम लोग बायोटेक्नोलॉजी से हम लोग स्टूडेंट हैं, हमें पता है माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म बहुत तरह के होते हैं। अगर हम उसका इस्तेमाल कर सके ना, और हमें प्रॉपर उसके लिए फंडिंग मिलने लगे, सरकार
तो मशीनें दे रही है, 25,000 मशीनें दी हुई है, बोल रहे अगले साल और 25,000 देंगे। जैसे वो हैप्पी सीडर है, वो इसको निकाल कर कोई नहीं होता है, फिर भी इस तरह की क्राइसिस सब्सिडी भी दे रहे हैं। लेकिन आपको लगता है बहुत नाकाफी है, किसानों को खुद से भी कुछ करना चाहिए?
80 से 90% है जो धान का जो होता है उसको हम उखाड़ के हटाना पड़ता है, लेकिन क्या करना।
लेकिन आपको लगता है कि बहुत कुछ करने की और जरूरत है?
हाँ, बहुत कुछ करने की, और ज्यादा संख्या में मशीनें दिया जाए और सब्सिडी दिया जाए और उनको कुछ प्रोत्साहन भी दिया जाए, साथ ही साथ वो जलाए ना, और प्रोग्राम तो चलाना ही पड़ेगा, उसके बिना।
यहाँ पे एक बात हो रही थी कि पंजाब में जैसे राइस और वीट की कल्टीवेशन होती है, लेकिन अगर शुगर केन और मेज की कल्टीवेशन होगी तो शायद इस मसले से निजात मिलेगी।
हाँ, की करते हैं, जला नहीं सकते, हमें उसके लिए निकालना पड़ता है। तो बाय ट्रैक्टर से हम उसे निकलवा सकते हैं, लेकिन क्या सबके पास अवेलेबल है, ये भी तो हमें देखना पड़ेगा कि अवेलेबिलिटी कितनी है। हर कोई अप्रोच कर सकता है क्या, हर कोई कॉस्टिंग कर सकता है क्या, एक मेजर होता है।
As you can see, Vishnu, the other factor that you were talking about, the direction of the winds. Now, yes. Punjab is saying that whatever pollution is in Punjab is because of Delhi, because the winds are moving from Delhi to Punjab and not the other way around.
That's not the way it works.
Had said that.
See, this is the worry. I mean, it's little knowledge is so dangerous, Zafar, and you know, people who don't know would say that, oh, but you know, it's coming from elsewhere, when in fact it's farm fires in Haryana and Punjab that have caused so much. And the people over there who are actually burning stubble in their own fields are suffering as a result of their own actions. Zafar, thanks very much for sharing that perspective from Punjab. It really is quite an eye-opener in a sense to hear what people on the ground have to sometimes say. We're joined by our first caller this evening, Dr. Radhakrishnan. Go ahead with your question, sir.
Yeah, hi Vishnu. The limited point I wanted to make was the worst way to deal with this pollution and the cause of it is to try and make it Delhi-centric. You know, to viewers like us around the country, it almost seems as if the source of this pollution is actually emanating from Delhi. It clearly isn't. So I think media and everybody needs to recognize that.
No, but sir, do you have a question, sir?
India is actually affected
that's
by
a comment. Do you have a question? Do you have a question, sir?
Try and find a solution to prevent.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. But sir, do you have a question specifically?
Service to the entire problem.
Okay, so no question over there, a comment. But let me just go across to you, Dr. Garg. In the last 24 hours, let's say a little bit more than that. Let's say the last 1 week or so, have you seen a rise in the number of patients that come in?
Definitely. I think the number is exponential rise, and it's a yearly phenomenon. You can almost predict that this is going to happen. So I think, and also, you know, carrying on from the point.
Well, what percentage? Just ballpark.
Ballpark.
Do you see a 30% rise in your patients?
About a 30%, but that's an yearly figure. We almost predict.
So can you give me some numbers? Typically, how many patients would you see this time of the year?
We probably see, if we're seeing about 20 patients of respiratory problems, core respiratory, we'd be seeing 30 patients. So about that increase. So, and that is, as I said, is an yearly phenomena. But what is also worrying is that, you know, we have hardly done anything to address it. It is almost happening year and after. We've heard this, you know, is Punjab, Delhi, you know, where it comes from. It's an yearly phenomenon. It is only that this time of the year when you can actually see the haze that we start talking about.
One sec, doctor, let's just bring up an image that I'm told we have right now of a particular lung. And that is what in fact is, and let's have that across full screen for the benefit of our viewers. Images of a lung installation has been put up at Gangaram Hospital in Delhi, in the NCR as well. And it actually goes to show it changes from white to grey within 3 days. It sort of gives an indicator of how the lungs of patients I'm using the word patients, it's actually all of us are patients living over here. You know, I mean, how it changes. So just from a strictly medical standpoint, what does PM 2.5 do to the lungs?
See, if you look at COPD, one of the diseases that we thought initially was a smoker's lung disease. We would take a history and say, okay, are you a smoker? If you're not a smoker, very unlikely that you would develop COPD. No longer is it relevant. We are seeing younger patients coming to us with they have never smoked in their life. So that whole question about whether you are a smoker, at least in this part of the world, is become irrelevant.
Okay.
And COPD is climbing up from 6th largest killer to 3rd largest. It takes away huge resources. It is a very resource intense disease. So that's one part, which is the end part. But starting from simple bronchitis, allergic cough, to people having a lot of expectoration, to new onset of asthma. So there is a whole range of problems. And the problem is, I think, are addressing. What bothers me is that for years, you know, as Anumata is aware, we've been trying to talk about it for the last 4 or 5 years, but in all those 4 or 5 years, the levels have gone up.
Okay, one sec. Bhaskar Basu from New Delhi is on the phone line. Bhaskar, do you have a question? Only if you have a question, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. Good evening, Mr. Vishnu.
Good evening.
What's my question? This is the same discussion you are doing years on and on.
Yes.
What difference it is making? Can you tell me?
What difference? Actually, that's a very valid question. I think that's a very valid question. I think that's a very valid question because you're quite right. I have been doing programs like this now, all of us in fact, for year after year. Anumita has been my guest on at least 10 to 12 times over the last few years. What is the point of us doing programs? It's a valid question from somebody who I assume feels frustrated that you do these programs, what difference does it make? We all continue to breathe bad air. I think that's a really valid point.
Yes.
Do you feel frustrated as an environmentalist, as a scientist yourself?
It's very interesting in Delhi. We do feel frustrated, but we don't feel pessimistic about it. For the simple reason, it's an amazing fight that we are fighting here today. So this city, it's not that we never did anything. So a city which has shifted the big polluting industry out, did such big CNG program, banned petcoke, furnace oil, now totally coal power free. These are not small things.
No, these are huge things. These
big
are huge
things, right? Completely change the economy around it. But what you are not paying attention to is that your action plan will have to be calibrated against the reduction target. We all talk about Beijing, what that has done, but that is to reduce it by 25%. But in Delhi today, if Delhi has to meet its clean air standard, it has to reduce it by 74%, which means the scale and the depth
is
of
much
action.
larger. So the scale in Delhi, I did not know
Delhi
this,
and NCR.
is much larger,
much.
more than double,
Exactly.
twice the size in terms of the proportion of change that needs to be made to the rural economy, industries, bringing down pollution, way more than what Beijing needed to do. So Beijing, right. That's something new. I did not know that. Bhavreen, as a parent, and again, this is a point that people in so many parts of the country, unless you actually live over here, don't understand, that it's an annual trauma. What are some of the problems that you have faced over the years with your twins?
Yes, exactly what Dr. Garg and Anupita is saying. It's become like a pattern, and like the caller just said, it's a pattern. Every year we reach, as you see, my voice is just gone, and then we are suddenly talking of air, and we are don't know what to do, to send children to school, keep them. Now I have twin girls, they are 14 years. By now they have lungs of a smoker. I mean, without doing anything. I mean, here we want to wash our vegetables in KMNO4 and get the best for them, do the best environment, buy the best. But what are we doing? This is what we've given them.
You can't wash your lungs now,
doctor.
You
can't wash your lungs, and I made them smokers. So this is a terrible feeling. If I deny sports, my girls are playing junior nationals now. They have a tournament. A whole week we have been fighting constantly. They want to go. I mean, if I let them go, I'm killing them. If I don't let them go, they're killing me. So,
all right, we're going to take a short break, come back after that, and perhaps also reflect on a key point that babies born over here are essentially smokers from day one. It's unbelievable, but it's true. We'll take a break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We've got Sanjay Pandey on the phone line now on this special program on India's air emergency. Sanjay, what is your question?
Good afternoon, Vishnu.
Good afternoon. Good evening, in fact.
This problem we have been seeing for the last few days, few years, and the environment and the surrounding factors have been the same for as long as I remember. I was in Delhi in 95. And in 95, from IIT Gate to Nehru Place or IIT Gate to AIMS, I used to be able to walk down in the month of June without a single speck of sunlight falling on me because it was all lined with trees. In 2016, when I went there, I found it was as barren as a desert. So why are we hiding the real criminals of this genocide? It's a planned genocide, which is being done by the successive ministers of Delhi, who has allowed
I actually was under the impression that our tree cover is not bad.
Have kept silent all this while.
Okay, Sanjay, one sec. Let's try and get it. Let's try and get an answer to that question. Sanjay, can you bring down his this thing? So, Anupita, the tree cover in the city, is it a problem? I know more can always be done.
It's overall urban tree cover, and also today everyone is talking about having a green wall around. So protecting the Aravalis, your forest and green cover has become absolutely essential because one, that you have huge dust fall in Delhi, and we have seen that during summer, and even now the contribution of dust is also enormous. So you need a lot more green and a green wall around the city. But at the moment we have not yet understood how to integrate urban green, to integrate that with the overall urban planning. And in the process, what is happening, road widening, making more roads, more construction, the trees have become the immediate victims.
Right.
And that's something that we really have to address. Right now, see what is happening in Gurgaon.
Yeah.
It's exploding. Okay, I mean, it's a mindless thing to cut your trees and destroy your forest, your biodiversity park, when you are desperate for clean air to breathe.
Okay, we've got a phone call from Brajesh in Bangalore. Go ahead, Brajesh, with your question.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Brikesh. I'll keep it short. So, I mean, this is a health emergency, like Anumita was saying, and our Prime Minister is the champion of Swachh Bharat. But there can never be a Swachh Bharat without Swachh Hawa. So what I want to ask is, what would it take for the PMO to intervene and treat this health emergency with the urgency it deserves? It needs all hands on deck, and we need to stop the political passing the buck and blaming only crop burning, because it's a perennial problem. It's not a seasonal problem just for 15 days.
Okay. Again, go ahead, yes.
If I could answer, see,
and I'll come to you next.
We are saying the word emergency. So if there were a war tomorrow, where if if country was attacked, what will be the response? Who would be sitting? Everyone will be making a war room sort of. But are we in a different situation? Our kids are dying. There is the WHO data last year.
Yeah, because when we fight a war, we have a structure. We know how to respond. So, over here, it seems that year after year we face
the word emergency and air emergency is so loosely used. But where is the response? Where is the war room to address it?
Bhavreen, it's my big frustration that, every single year after year, and Anumita would often be part of these programs, I'd get a member of the government from Delhi to come in, whether it's Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress before that. But then they have no answers.
Yeah.
And the answers are, oh, but you blame Punjab, you blame Haryana, we can't do anything about it, we've done what we can do. Does it not seem to be a lost cause for you, because there is no real solution which seems to have been working so far?
Absolutely, that's what I was saying, the pattern that will come and we'll debate and it's a blame game. But like Anumita said, there are options. Why can't the farmers be, if we can make statues worth 3,000 crore, I'm a parent, I care for my child. I don't care who and what and which party, center, state. I want my child's life. This is clean air is it's our right. It's every citizen's right, and we deserve it.
Sure. So let's. I just want to quickly take a look at this interview my colleague Snigdha Basu has done with the Center for CPCB chief a little while back this afternoon. Let's listen into what he had to say.
The National Capital Region today woke up to a heavy smog around the area, high pollutant levels, high concentration of PM particulate matter. I have with me CPCB chairperson Mr. Vihar to tell us why that was so, and is this the worst ever that we have seen?
To answer your first question as to why has it happened, it's primarily because of withdrawal of EST disturbances, which has brought in moisture from the eastern side, and secondly we have had strong winds at about a kilometer above surface from the northwestern side, which has brought in smoke on account of stubble burning. The two together with falling temperatures have caused the air to be heavier, and that's how we see this kind of situation. And this is not the worst that we've seen before. We've seen 2016, 2017, when around this time, in addition to the smog as we called it, we also had dust coming in from long ranges like Gulf and those areas. Now we've been in touch with the IMD to make sure that we do not have a similar situation coming in and not being warned in time. And they have set up an early warning system this time, and they're able to advise us correctly, at least 48 hours in advance, to tell us whether or not there is long-range transport of dust from those areas. And what they've told us so far is that currently there is no possibility of that kind of dust coming into Delhi for at least next 48 hours.
How are the next 48 hours looking for Delhi?
Well, I would say that the current situation will continue at least till tomorrow morning, because we do expect the northwesterly winds to continue, and therefore the smoke from outside will move in. But the good feature, of course, is that we had some good wind this morning about 10, 11 o'clock. And if the winds, the surface winds continue to be good, then hopefully the pollutants will get dispersed. But it all depends on how much volume is coming in from outside and how much can be dispersed.
All right, well, we're going to be tracking this entire episode of this air apocalypse across large parts of North India tonight on my show Trending at 10 p.m. Do join us for that. We'll bring in many more experts as we try and understand the mess all around us. Time for this short break.